In today's video, I'd like to talk for a few minutes about why we want to invest in bonds in our retirement portfolio, because I think a lot of people are mistaken about this and put them into their accounts for the wrong reasons. So in this example, we have someone with a retirement portfolio of $1.25 million. I just kind of pulled that out of the hat. Now, a lot of people, when they approach their own retirement investing, default to an asset allocation of 60% stocks and 40% bonds. I am still a fan of the 60-40 portfolio. I think it's well balanced, it's diversified, and it's good for a lot of people. Here's what people get wrong about it, is if you have a $1.25 million portfolio and you put 60% in stocks, you'll have $750,000 of your accounts in equities. The other 40% or $500,000 will be in bonds. A lot of people think that bonds are placed into the portfolio just to be a ballast and a diversifier against your equities. And while that's true in a lot of cases, it misses a lot of the point. A bond is simply a loan to some other organization like the US government or a corporation. And over the length of the bond, that organization pays you a little bit of interest, and then at some point the bond matures, it becomes due, and they give you your money back. Well, remember that when we're investing, we're trying to buy low and sell high. And that's pretty tough to do when we face a bear market. And if you're someone who has the unfortunate circumstance of retiring just before the market crashes, you might find yourself in a sticky situation. So let's coordinate this with this person's financial planning. Well, if they need to spend $100,000 a year and they're collecting $35,000 a year from Social Security, they'll need to take $65,000 out of their accounts. I'm ignoring taxes for simplicity for the time being. Now, if they need to take $65,000 every year out of a $1.25 million portfolio, that's a withdrawal rate of a little more than 5%. That might be too aggressive for some people, which is a good argument for having some stocks in your accounts to keep up with your withdrawal needs. On a monthly basis, that means that you'll need to take out a little more than $5,400. And it also means that of the bonds in your portfolio, you have 92 months worth of expenses parked in that asset class. Here's where people get wrong. The bonds in your accounts are not only to be a diversifier, they're to give you a runway to allow the equity markets to recover if things crash in front of your feet. Because if we enter some kind of market calamity, the economy falls into a recession, the markets crash, if there's a bubble, you can all but guarantee that the value of your stocks is going to go down. Now, the value of your bonds might go down temporarily as well, but generally, when this stuff happens, there's a flight to safety. More people buy bonds, and it buffers the value of what you own. So by having a healthy portion of your accounts in bonds, it simply buys you time to allow the equity markets to recover, which is really important. There have been 19 bear markets since the year 1900. The average length of those bear markets is less than 1 year. And yes, the equity markets, when this happened, lose substantial amounts of value, but they don't last for longer than a couple years historically. The one exception to that is the Great Depression back in the 1920s, before we had the SEC, before we had any of these governing bodies like the Federal Reserve that we have today. So in this circumstance, this person has $1.25 million in their retirement accounts. If they put 60% in stocks and 40% in bonds, that gives them 8 years of bonds, or 8 years of time to allow their stocks to recover in the face of a market crash. And this is what people get wrong. Bonds are not just a diversifier. They're there to give you latitude to allow your stocks to recover so that you don't need to sell them when they're low. You can wait around and sell them when they come back and their value increases over time.